Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a cancer dead. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name. Broken heart made whole. Never seen an orphan find a home. Never seen the weak find the strength. I promise you will change his name. Never seen the sick get healed. Never seen a mystery revealed. Never seen a death man raised. I promise you will change his name.
Hey everybody! It is time once again for the sweet, soulful sounds of the Big C and Bigger T podcast.
Coming to you, ladies, and always from the nacho cart. That's one of my favorite lines. He's like, from the ladies, man, ladies, if you are rich and we have boned, please meet me by the nacho cart. And I can't remember. It's like, ladies, if you're rich and we haven't boned, please meet me by the nacho cart.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you seen the Ladies Man movie?
Yeah, I think I saw a long time ago.
It's not the finest production ever.
It's no Billy Madison, but it's
no Billy Madison, but it had some.
It was not at the Roxbury.
Yeah, it's better. It's probably better than not at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can only take so much of those guys.
Well, you did have Richard Grieco in it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just here.
Well, hey, Clint, let me finish my introductions.
Oh, my bad.
How you doing, Big C?
I'm great. Thinking about a lot of movies now.
That's right. Yeah.
This movie,
Squirrel.
Squirrel. We got off on the movie. Yeah, but yeah, I'm
a little distracted there.
I did have an unfortunate incident happen to me this week.
Unfortunate incident.
I've been collecting critters.
Collecting critters, yep. Farmer Clint.
We talked about, and I actually had a
conversation. Old McClint had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
Somebody actually suggested on my Facebook page that I get a zonkey.
You should. I'm telling you.
But anyway, I just found it odd that somebody's like, just get you one of them. Like,
yeah.
Like I can just get on the internet and be like, get on Amazon and like,
I know where there might be one for sale.
I'm good. I don't need, trust me.
I seriously.
I mean, maybe you give me the information later. I have a problem, Travis.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have to, like y'all, but next time we get together, y'all might have to have an intervention. Like, Clint, quit buying critters. So, but real talk, peacocks make me think of my grandfather. Like he always had one around, and so
did he have a colorful tail?
Have a colorful tail, and so stop. I found I found a peacock on Facebook. Lady selling the peacocks.
Where else would you find a peacock?
But on Facebook, like literally, I've got all kinds of.
I do not want to go to the places where you go on Facebook. There's two different worlds on Facebook, and me and you live in different worlds on Facebook.
We do live in different.
I'm a big believer in that if I went through your worlds on Facebook, it would be like going to LA for me. It'd be like the boy from Worcester shows up in LA. Holy cannoli. I need to get back to the Worcester store, get me some fried chicken. I don't know if I can eat no pizza.
That's the funniest day. I mean, I've been your friend. I've been your friend for how long now? How long have we been best friends? 35 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Without exaggeration. 100%. Hand on a Bible. That is the funniest damn good thing you've ever said.
Good. Because it's true, Clay.
It is true.
That's why.
Like we have for everything we have in common, we have so much of it.
That's right.
Right. So yeah, So I buy, and I'm on like a livestock pages, Travis.
Oh, good.
Right now, that's what my feed is just all live. And I'm always looking at like, ooh, I could use that.
Yeah.
Will Anna kill me if I buy this? And the answer's probably yes. One more. I'm one.
You're still kicking though, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm one more farm animal from being Carol Baskin's ex-husband.
That's right. That's right.
So
it's in a lost plane somewhere in South America.
like fed me to the peacock. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I get the peacock Wednesday. Tom Clark goes with me to get the peacock because
your daddy.
Who else are you can take with you?
Yeah, Tom Clark.
To get a peacock. So me and Dad, we drive to Little Rock. Literally, this is like a freaking farm, like out of the middle of nowhere. And it's not out of the middle of nowhere. That's incorrect. Literally down Chenal Parkway. So you're driving down Chenal, take a left, and like a half mile down the street
there's a peacock.
Like a peacock farm.
Like several peacocks.
Yeah, they had some peacocks.
Just like a peacock farm, Chenal
is just it's over there.
Like
you take a left.
Like stop and get some barbecue at Corky's and then get some peacocks.
So
all right.
So we'd had the thing for like 4 or 5 days, and I'm like, okay, you know what's a great idea? Let's let it out and see if he'll just do its show.
Yeah.
Just let the peacock do its show.
Run around the yard because they pick up ticks and stuff, chiggers and stuff like that.
Yeah, for some reason, I'm scared to grab it. I don't know why.
Because it's so pretty, you're afraid you'll break it.
That's it.
Mama told you not to touch the pretty things in the house.
Right. That's exactly it. So I don't want to touch. So we go to we get the peacock to come outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like it lands.
Wait. How did that go? Peacock.
I tried to bribe it with some treats, like hey,
come on, buddy. Yeah.
So I tried to drive, but you know what I did? Eventually, I gave it $20 and it came out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we get it outside. It is literally in like the little pasture area we're in front of the barn for like a half a second. And he's like, deuces. Like,
did he fly off?
He flew off. He flew on the roof of the barn, and we're like, oh crap. So
yeah, because like you do that with a puppy. Puppy runs a little bit. Puppy finally tires out. You get it.
Yeah.
Puppy don't got wings. Peacock got wings.
No, but he gets up on the roof, but then he doesn't know what to do, and he's scared. And you and I mean, I'm petrified of heights.
Yeah.
So I have to I have to make my wife climb up.
Your wife's a tough woman, thankfully.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah. So that's So that was so we got it back in the coop, and I put a funny post on Facebook, and ladies like, no, you need to have them there for like 2 weeks or a month before you let them out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, thanks. I'm sorry. I should have Googled, how to handle a peacock better. I don't know. My bad.
Yeah.
But the peacock's safe in the coop.
You can't tie the peacock to a chicken. That way they won't take off.
Like buddy, do a buddy system.
A buddy system.
It's not a terrible idea.
I've seen it worked on Survivor.
There you go. I may put them in there with the ducks, but these are your friends now.
They caught some chickens on Survivor one time, and this little Asian man, he knew how to take care of them, and he would, so that because they couldn't build a good enough pen to put them in because they didn't have any tool, a lot of tools. So he just tied 2 of the chickens together, and that way they couldn't just take off, and so that way they stayed just around the camp. So anyway, or just go get a second peacock.
But speaking of,
tie it to a zonkey.
So you just gave a great segue. You didn't even mean to do it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm still sitting here thinking, like going to LA for me in my head, and just laughing. I turn them on. But I was on my Facebook, and I came across this thing on bjpen.com. You remember Bob Sapp, don't you?
Bob Sapp.
He was in He was in The Longest Yard, MMA fighter.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that goes, he broke it in my nose. And
Yeah,
like,
the big guy. Yeah.
That's Bob Sapp.
Mhm.
So him and Quentin Rampage Jackson, they put on a big shirt. One of them had the right hand out, one of them had the left hand out.
Mm-hmm.
And then these other just two promoters, they put on a big shirt. And then they had a boxing match.
So I feel you. So now you're wanting us to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wanting us to do that. You're having problems with that one arm.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking, okay, we just need Clint. Like when I order from the Big and Tall store, I'm already asking for some of the biggest shirts they got. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to have to go with a real big shirt.
No, this was huge. I mean, like it was. But I'm like, I can't. Like,
No,
what
so
crap is that, Travis?
but seriously, they put on this shirt together.
Yes.
Okay,
They call
so
it Siamese twin boxing. I'm not making this up. You think I'm making this up?
are we
but
running
I'm
out
not.
of? Are we running out of things to prove that we're stupid as human beings?
I mean, God, idiocracy is becoming a thing, Travis.
It's always been a thing, but
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
but it's, seriously. That's different.
Yeah, but I mean, and Bob Sapp and Rampage Jackson are successful MMA fighters. They both have a movie career. I can't see them needing money that badly that they're like, thought that was a good idea.
All right, but here's the deal, Clint.
Okay.
Real talk, though.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 1990. We're over at the McNabb's house. Did you ever go to their house and go bowling with them, with their church or whatever?
I've been over to their house, but I never went bowling or anything.
Okay. I used to go over there and I'd stay the night with them and go. Their church would go on trips bowling or skating or something like that or something. Anyway, but we would box out in their field. They had some taekwondo gloves.
Right. Yeah. Brent was a decent boxer.
Oh, he could throw a punch, man.
I mean, but
are you telling me that we wouldn't have, if we would have heard about that, we wouldn't have been trying to find a big shirt to.
Oh, we would have done it.
Or to tie ourselves, or found a piece of rope or something to tie ourselves up with.
Just because 14-year-old Clint would have done it,
it doesn't mean it's a good idea now.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I think about that younger Clint quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, you were stupid.
Every time I hurt, yeah.
Like you're an idiot, kid.
That's right. Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a weird, wild sport, but hey, maybe they're making some money off of it. Who knows?
Maybe they're just trying to get on, like, maybe they're going to do the Ocho, ESPN 8.
That's
right.
They
do the Ocho, and they just need content.
That's right. That's right.
What can we put on here?
Yeah.
What can we put on here? Lumberjack, chainsaw, juggling?
Yeah.
No. Siamese twin boxing.
That's right. That's right. Now, our Holy Snikes moment. This is one you got to. I was shocked when I heard this, but this is something that's right up your alley. You're a big fan of both of these entities, and they have come together. Tell us about the big merger that happened.
Well, Endeavor is the parent company. They bought out the UFC. They kind of kept their corporate structure involved. So Dana White's still president and like everybody else. So that company that owned Endeavor, they bought out WWE, and they've merged the two companies into one group. They're going to come up with a new name for the company. But what you're really seeing is Vince McMahon has mostly done all this to bully his way back into control of WWE. He had a big, he had and I told you, like, I can't do this funny because I don't like what's going on at all. And I'm going to give you my opinion, and you can choose to listen to me, you can choose not to listen to me. Vince has been out of touch for years. Mm-hmm. He just has been, but a lot of things have come out with him having inappropriate relationships with female staffers and stuff. And that he paid them to keep quiet about it.
Yeah.
Made them sign NDAs for millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So he's done all this, basically, and so he basically retired. Like, okay, I'm going to make it, just let it go away, let it retire. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, whatever you want to call him, he took over as head of creative,
which is his son-in-law.
It immediately got 100 times better. Like, it really did. The show got better. It was just better. Ratings were going up. Attendance was up. They just sold out SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles this weekend for WrestleMania 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold it out, 80,000 people both nights.
Yeah.
I mean, just ridiculous. So anyway, Vince basically says, look, he had it written in the thing where no one could approve media rights except for the majority shareholder. Vince McMahon is the majority shareholder. So he basically forced his way back in the company.
And now, folks, listen, I know when you think of wrestling, you think of fake, you think of storylines. Yeah. Clint's talking real life stuff here. Okay. So he's not talking about, this isn't some soap opera storyline on wrestling. So if you're not a big wrestling fan, which I'm not, I mean, I used to be, I don't pay much attention to it now. So that's why I did. I mean, I knew a little bit. I knew Vince had gotten in trouble. Yeah. I knew some of that kind of stuff, but we're not, but I just wanted to say that out loud. We're not talking some storyline just for dramatic TV. This is real life stuff. He had really done those things, been found guilty of those things, really had lost control, had to kind of been forced to step down because people were upset about, like, as they should be, for things he had done wrong.
Well, and then anyway, you fast forward. So he says he came back just to sell. Well, apparently there's a lot of companies that wanted to buy it. Vince McMahon staying on board was an issue for a lot of them.
Yeah.
There were rumors that they were going to sell to a Saudi group. So this group finally bought them out. They agreed to the deal over the weekend. Vince basically has crowbarred his way back in to where he is in charge again, and he's now running creative of WWE again. And Monday Night Raw this week was pretty much unwatchable.
Really?
Like, it was just bad. It was a bad show. It was just bad. And apparently Vince he said, no, I'm going to kind of be with creative, but I'm not really going to be in the weeds. And apparently they tore the script up before the show.
Really?
Like, it just immediately, it just was not
got bad.
It wasn't good. And Vince has crowbarred his way in, and it's just, it's not, the product's going to suffer, and all that. And I just, I'm one of them. I mean, you've known me for a long time. Mo Jiu-Jitsu instructor in North Carolina, knew I didn't come to class on Mondays because wrestling was on. That's me. And it's just the point where I can't support it anymore.
Yeah.
I just, knowing what he's done and how it's been done, there comes a time, with everything where you're like, okay, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. I'm like, no, this is enough's enough.
Yeah.
Just, enough's enough. But that's my opinion. I'm going to boycott their product.
Do you think they're going to have some bleed over, like UFC, WWE stuff?
Oh, I'm sure they will. But here's the thing. The cross promotion's where it's going to be big. I think you'll see UFC events advertised on WWE and stuff like that.
What if they'll ever have events at the same time, like a double like a double, like a big UFC match the same night as a like a main event of a wrestling match and a main event of a UFC match same night or something like that.
It wouldn't shock me if they did it. They built to something like that. It's going to be a whole lot easier for the UFC guys to come over to WWE.
Yeah.
And look, to come and look tough and all that, where, the amount of like, it's funny, like Eric Bischoff was talking about Ric Flair trying to fight him.
Yeah.
And he said Ric Flair's been throwing working punches so long, he doesn't know if he could throw a real punch. He's like, he goes, like, he tried to hit me and it was actually kind of comical because I don't think Ric Flair could throw a real punch.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just throwing those working punches so long where, those pulled punches.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, that's too big, Well, first of all, for you to say that about WWE, it's in bad shape, because I know, you were into it when it wasn't, not as many my friends were into it at that time.
Right.
And then whenever, of course, you've stayed with it the whole time. And so I was always kind of in and out of it. And, and then, so for you to be that upset about it, and then, but also just it's interesting from two big entities coming together like that.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting to watch and see what happens. And because, I mean, take away what, McMahon did, him and Dana White both are two big, big ballers, I mean, two guys that have done some amazing things with the two different companies they lead.
Oh,
and so
yeah. And they have
putting those heads together. It could, because if nothing else, they know how to get attention.
Oh, they're they're showmen and promoters at the end of the day. And well, they value the new company at $24 billion. Billion with a B.
Wish you'd have bought a little stock in one of those before and like that day before that happened.
Gosh. Well, there've been rumors that it was happening forever.
Okay.
And my gut feeling was that it was gonna be closed over WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
And
that's the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, even after what was funny, I guess the deal was closed Saturday night. Saturday's WrestleMania night one was spectacular. One of the best cards I've ever seen. Sunday was the drizzling craps. It was just it was terrible. It's like apparently the deal got done Saturday night and the show immediately got worse.
Really?
So it's pretty but man, Travis, make me smile again. I got salty about it. I'm hurting, Travis. I'm hurting.
Are you hurting? Well, Clint here, I need to say I was wrong about something. Can I do that?
You absolutely.
While we're talking about that, when we interviewed Brady Tygart, a few weeks ago, it was right after Arkansas had just played in the Fort Worth area, Dallas, Fort Worth, wherever it was,
right,
in that preseason tournament thing. And that was our first introduction to the pitch clock and the batter's clock.
Right.
And
Brady was not happy with it.
Brady wasn't happy with it. And to be honest with you, I wasn't either. We talked about it on here. And I mean, we didn't dog it. I don't think you or I either necessarily dogged it, but we were like,
yeah,
hey, it's baseball. It's supposed to be a long time, and all that. Right. I've watched a little bit of professional baseball, and I'm hearing some of the stats that are coming out about this.
Right.
I think I was wrong, Clint. I think I'm going to like it. I think it may be a good thing.
With any innovation in sport, you've got your grumpy old man that say like, they can still be playing 3 games in Little Rock and I miss the BCS. I mean,
and I'm usually that guy. That's me. You were
that
just
was
quoting
a
me.
shot at you, Travis.
You were quoting Wooster Boy right there. You were quoting me.
I don't know if you've said they need to play 3 games in Little Rock, but you have said BC.
Well, I don't want them to take the Little Rock games away. I'm fine with 1 game, but yeah.
No, I think 1 game's fine. I really do. I think
but yeah, and I mean that's usually me, but here's the deal, and here's why, Clint. Okay, here's why. Look, it's taken 30 minutes off of games on average.
Yeah.
In Major League Baseball right now so far. We're just a week into the season, right? But it's taken an average of 30 minutes, right? Stolen bases are up. I love the stolen base game. You and I became baseball fans when people like Ricky Henderson, Vince Coleman, Rock Raines,
running Redbirds, man,
were running around those bases, right? I love that. I love aggressive base running. Okay. And with this, the base runner can be more aggressive because that pitcher can't just sit there forever and try to lull them to sleep. Okay. And then what it's also done is all these batters have these nervous ticks that they do before they bat. They'll get up there, they'll watch a pitch, they'll step out of the box, they'll adjust each one of their batting gloves. I mean, it's nothing's changed. Why do they got to re-grip their batting glove?
Right.
Did you do a bad job of it last time? You didn't move your hands. You just watched the pitch go by.
Right.
They adjust their helmet. They knock stuff off. They take a couple swings. They adjust their crotch. They do all these different things. And then they get back in there. And they do that in between every pitch. And my favorite kind of baseball is when a batter gets up there. And I love it when a guy gets up there and fouls off 9 pitches in a row. Okay. Because he's making that pitcher work. That's the Yankees I fell in love with, Bernie Williams and Paul O'Neill and those guys. They'd get up there and they would work hard doing that bat to get the right pitch. But if they're doing that in between every pitch, and then you got a guy on base and your pitcher's, sitting there working him and throwing at him 5 or 6 times in there, it just takes for stinking ever. And so now with this clock, they just got to get to business. Now there's been 36 calls against batters, 19 against pitchers. And, which is, isn't too bad when you think of, Major League, a little over a week, every team's played just about every day.
Right. They said it's averaging about one incident in a game.
Yeah.
That's why I heard that somewhere. I may have heard it nowhere and just thought I heard it.
And of course, Major League's going to get used to it easier because they should anyway, because they're Major League Baseball players. They should be able to, they're older. And so it is going to be harder for college probably to adjust a little bit, but it seems like even Arkansas has adjusted better, now. So anyway, I just had to say that. I've changed my mind on it. I like it. I like the pitch count.
Well, anything, you want the state of the game to be healthy, and baseball became the 3rd favorite sport in America. Yeah. It's never gonna touch the NFL.
No,
nothing will ever touch football.
No,
the soccer heads can try to shove it down our throats all we want. Football's gonna be king.
No,
forever.
Yeah.
Then it's basketball, and then baseball.
Well, and it used to be baseball was the top.
Yeah.
But things have changed. Kids don't just go out and play baseball like they used to when our parents were growing up. It's not as big of a, you don't go out and play with your buddies like you did.
Yeah.
But you do go out and play football, and you do go out and play basketball,
Right.
Now speaking of baseball, the Hog baseball team got a great win this weekend against Alabama.
Yes.
Pitching is rounding up. They got a great win when the rotation got messed up on them because they lost that first game so bad. It caused Van Horn to have to get some guys in that he didn't want to get in early. Okay. So he ended up, his rotation got messed up and it changed. Sunday was going to be a bullpen day, but on Sunday, our boy Cody Adcock, who we interviewed, go back and listen to that interview.
Amazing.
Came up great. He got a dinger hit off of him, but he came in and gave a few innings after already pitching earlier in the series. And then Dylan Carter is stepped up big time.
Yeah.
That kid has pitched some great innings out of the bullpen, and just done some, and is really, as a freshman, has really stepped up. Now, and here's the good thing, okay? From what I hear, Brady Tigert is throwing off the mound. So they're thinking in a few weeks he's going to be back.
Yeah.
That's only going to make him better. I've messaged Brady a little bit, and he said he is feeling better, and he's not giving me any details, but he says he is throwing and that he's feeling better and he's ready to get back out there. So,
I mean,
that's exciting.
Act like if we knew something's exclusive, we'd break it here on the podcast.
That's right. Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
No one's gonna know about it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. People listening.
But and then hitting wise, I forget the kid's name, the center fielder.
Josenberger.
Yeah, he had a great week. Wagner, of course, still is just killing it. He's still doing
Parker
well.
Rowland was great.
Parker Rowland is doing great.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's the next baseball player we'd like to get on here. And then
we'll see, and I'm happy because because Brady got hurt. And I'm like, man, I hope there's not a bigger T curse.
That's right.
He did. So I want to see Cody stay healthy for about a week, and then I'll consider having Parker on. I'm not going to jinx this season because I'm selfish.
That's right. That's right. And then Callie's coming around.
Yeah.
That series down in Texas, he didn't look so good. They were expecting big things from him. He went down there and laid an egg, man. He just didn't look good, but he has really turned around. But he was one we talked about with Tigert, and Tigert said he'll come around, and sure enough, he has. I think this team is gonna continue to come around. I really do. The big thing is going to be hitting in clutch situations. One thing I love to see is Wagner's a clutch hitter. Diggs is a clutch hitter. And Johnsberg, what's his name? Josenberg seems to be kind of a clutch hitter too. So if we can
how did Wagner not get drafted last year?
I don't know. But I'm glad
I don't get it. That guy is a good baseball player.
Yeah. I'm glad he's here though.
Yeah, I know. I'm thrilled to death. But I mean, even Tigert was like, I don't see how he wasn't drafted. Yeah. We were up like, is this going to be a double or a home run? I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and now basketball season's over. No surprise, UConn ended up winning. Going into that game, I against San Diego State, I thought it's not going to be close. Of course, then San Diego State made a little run toward the end. I thought, but then UConn ended up pulling it out and making it not close, proving me right. But the Hogs, things are changing.
As they always do.
Nick Smith, look, and there's been a lot of talk. A lot of folks are like, he's not ready for the pros. He's not ready for the pros. He didn't do enough at Arkansas to show he's ready for the pros. Folks, calm down.
He's going to be all right.
I know there's a lot of you going to disagree with me. He's ready for the pros. Look, he may not be, okay. He may go get drafted and not do anything. He's still going to get drafted high. Don't doubt that. Do not doubt that. These scouts have been watching him since he was in junior high. They would have taken him in the top 5 if he would have came out last year. There are reasons. Look, yeah, it didn't work out this year for whatever reason. He didn't become the stud player we were hoping he was going to be. But folks, there were some flashes.
Yeah.
That game in the tournament when Devo fouled out at the end, he didn't come in and score. You know, Council ended up leading us down scoring, hitting free throws at the end of the game. Nick Smith played some awesome defense at the end of that game. He stepped up for Devo and took Devo's place guarding the other team's best player for the rest of that game. Go back and watch that game. I forget what game that was. Was it the Kansas game? Go back and watch his defense those last couple of minutes after Devo fouls out. That was NBA level defense right there.
Yeah.
There was other times this year he played NBA level ball. It's just for whatever reason, it just didn't gel, you know, with him out there, and he wasn't able to show off his. I don't think he was able to show off the ability that he has.
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with just being injured most of the season.
Yeah.
Like he played a handful of games, but I mean, when you're a lottery pick, there's no way you should go back to college.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. Everybody's like hoping Anthony Black's coming back. Quit hoping. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And, okay. Now, when you're projected like Nick Smith or Anthony Black go pro, even Ricky Council, I've been seeing him towards the tail end of the first round.
Yeah.
Older kid. I don't know if Ricky could help himself if he came back next year. I really don't.
He's going to be the same. He's going to be the same even if he came back, I think.
No, but there are some kids that I think could help themselves. Like Jordan Walsh, perfect example.
Yeah.
I think Walsh could really help himself if he came back. I know you were a 5-star.
Yeah.
Before and all that, it didn't work out as well as it should. You played a lot of minutes and you showed some flashes, but if you put it together, I think another year in the system, another year under Muss, you know, maybe he could get towards that.
Now, here's the thing. Jordan Walsh could get drafted.
Oh, no, I think he
could go and show the ability, but he could get drafted and then be buried on the bench for a couple years.
Right.
I think you're exactly right. He's one that he could come back under Muss for another year, and we're talking about him as a first rounder next year.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't believe me on that, but I think he's got a skill set that we didn't see all of it this year. Because I think he's one who understood he had a role he needed to fill. And I think to a fault, he filled that role and he held himself back. I think that's what I was seeing when I would talk about how he was reactionary instead of aggressive on offense, that he would kind of sit back and let the offense do its thing and then just react. And that's why he got a lot of scrap buckets or like end of the shot clock buckets and things like that. I think he could do some special things after another year. And once he learns to be more aggressive in the offense.
Well, I think he could come back next year and this could be his team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this was supposed to be, no one ever took over this team.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like the year before, you had Jalen Williams to a degree, but really the guy was JD Note.
Yeah.
That was your scorer. That was your guy. This is the guy you got to shut down.
Yeah.
This year, there never was a guy. No one ever was the guy. And I really never feel like no one took Jalen Williams' spot as the leader.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
no, I think that was the problem with this team. Yeah. I think Devo tried. And I think Muss tried to get him to be the leader. I don't think it took well. Because I think Devo is a great teammate, but I don't know if he's not the guy that you say, all right, lead our troops, you know.
Can I ask you a question, Trev? Can I ask you a question, Trev? Seriously.
Okay.
Who's the best player on the football team?
For the Razorbacks?
Yeah.
Best.
You would put KJ Jefferson into discussion, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
KJ is also the leader of that team.
Yeah.
When your best player is your leader, it makes a big difference. And the year before last, Jalen Williams was the leader.
And he was the best player.
Jalen Williams was also the best player. You know what I'm saying? And I think you could have that if Jordan Walsh comes back, he could be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Be the best player. And I think it'd be a win-win for literally everyone.
Well, actually, the win-win is Trevin Brazil.
Yeah, that's big.
That to me, that's the best player. And if he can be a leader, because he's a year older than a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
So, and I think he was trying to show some leadership early in the year. Remember, when we had him, we beat San Diego State, the team that made the finals.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it would having him. Now, there's some other transfers. Ricky Council is going to the NBA. We talked about that. Devo, I think, is smart. He's not giving up his college status, so he's not signing with an agent, but he is going to go through the process and kind of see where he would fall. And so if it looks like he's going to get drafted, then he may go. Okay, which I'm fine with that. I say, do that, leave the options open, and make that decision when the time comes.
You can't blame him at all.
No. And then we got a transfer today, point guard from Washington. I forget his name, but I watched a little bit of film on him. He's athletic, shoots a good percentage, good free throw shooter, has a good assist to turnover ratio. So, that's something we need, something we were missing a little bit.
You always like to look at who do we beat out for these guys. And apparently it's like us in Alabama.
In Tennessee.
Yeah. So, you beat out some good guys.
Yeah.
Well, did Khalil Ware commit, or is that still just a rumor?
I think it's just a rumor. I don't know. What do you think about him? We're on the same text chain where we heard some things about him.
Well, no, and I you take that back, you take all that away. If the Mitchell twins come back, that's if they come back. You also have Jalen Graham there. I think Bay Falls a 5-star big, isn't he not?
Yeah.
I mean, do you need him? I mean, just real talk.
Yeah.
Is he really needed? It must probably.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. If the Mitchell twins come back, you got Trevin Brazil. I don't know.
I mean, that's. I mean, you see them in. I mean, you see all these guys in the portal, and Arkansas linked to them, but there's only a couple spots left. It seems like. I mean, but he Musk probably knows. Like, okay, you don't know who's in the portal, who. And some of the high school kids they had come in last year, you got to wonder if they're going to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, now speaking of the portal, this is something that I've gotten the habit just because number one, we do this podcast. I watch all of Sam Pittman's press conferences.
Yeah.
So, I just remember, when I was in college and I was a walk-on at Tech. You'd go in like to the coach's office and you see the depth chart on the board, and then you'd see your name on there, and mine would be towards the bottom of the list. But anyway, neither here nor there. But one of the things I did hear Sam Pittman say was, they're probably not going to set a depth chart on the offensive line this year. It probably wide receiver anything. They're not going to set a depth chart. You know why he said that?
Because he don't want people to
jump in the portal.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going. He goes, I'm not going to set anything because I don't want these kids jumping in the portal. I'm like, it's smart.
It's a whole different world, isn't it?
Yeah, where where in the past you'd want to get that cohesion and kind of get that first group going together.
Yeah.
And of course, that down the offensive line, they're moving a lot of play pieces. Like there's some positions, like there's some places like quarterback, QB1 set.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know who UB2 is.
No.
You know, so you probably won't know, and that's probably part of the reason you didn't know Cade Fordham was going to be trotting out there number 2 when KJ got hurt till he was trying out there number 2.
Well, and we talked about it on here, but that was one of the things I think that I was critical of Sam Pittman about.
Yeah.
You know, last year he's saying Hornsby's our number 2, Hornsby's our number 2, Hornsby's our number 2. And then all of a sudden, whenever it comes time to play your number 2, you trot out Fortner and you say, well, he's been number 2.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not, Sam. You're putting every week, you're sending out a piece of paper to everybody and putting it online saying that Hornsby's number 2.
Yeah.
And you've said that this whole time. And then all of a sudden you're saying now Fortner's always been our number 2. So either you were lying then or you're lying now.
Yeah.
But you were lying to somebody.
You know what's funny was how big of a deal that was. I mean, it was a huge deal. Everybody had their panties all riled up about it. I was watching the Auburn game.
Yeah.
And Chambly, the left tackle, he was listed at number 2 on the depth chart all year long.
Yeah.
In fact, they pulled Luke Jones from the game.
Yeah.
And it was Devin Emmanuel was playing left tackle. No one said a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one said a peep.
Yeah.
Not one tweet, nothing.
Yeah.
But you do that with a quarterback, it's a big deal. But
that's right.
It sounds like he's really encouraged by the effort. The offensive line is going to be work, but when you're moving pieces like he is now, you know, it's going to happen. You know, like he said today, he had Kudus out there at tackle. He said, I think, you guys have been doing this a long time, I think we're going to find out he's going to be a pretty good tackle. Yeah. But he also feels good with him as the backup center, too, as the number 2 center. I guess Limmer's going to be the center.
Yeah.
There's some other things like KJ's going to have him get under center some. Like, I guess they're going to run Dan's offense, but they're going to run it fast.
Yeah.
This is kind of what they're doing.
Well, anyway, they say Rocket's looking big. Yeah. Trey Biddy said he thinks that he needs to lose a little weight. Said he's like bulked up like 240 something. And said he thinks he's probably better off in the, you know, upper 220s, but
yeah.
You know, who knows? Who knows what he'll be after summer workouts? He may end up being down those 220 range.
No, I'm sure they're going to come in shape. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't mean to get off on a football tangent.
No, and Trey Biddy's not saying he's out of shape 240.
Yeah.
He's saying he just looks big. He said he just looks, you know, he looks like a man 240. Like he's not saying at all he's like overweight or anything. He says he looks great. Says he looks really good. So
yeah, I don't even think I meant to talk football. I just he said that about we got talking about the transfer portal, and I'm like yeah, I mean, like it's genius. Like you know, the days of like Houston Nutt, like I'm gonna make y'all wait to tell you who's gonna be the starting quarterback. Like there's no way he'd announce a starter. I mean, if you've got a quarterback battle and you want to sell in the spring, like no, we ain't selling this to fall camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all battle out in 2 days, I'm gonna let y'all know probably the day before the first game.
Well, all right, Clint. That's enough sports stuff. I don't think. Is there anything else sports-wise we need to cover?
No, I think we covered it all.
I think we did, or at least all we were going to cover. Yeah. So my other question to you is this.
Oh, no.
What you watching?
Next Level Chef. I can't get enough.
Me too.
I love Next Level Chef. But I was in there and I'm watching Next Level Chef. One of the things that just when they're interviewing the guys, and you know they've got the background, it looks like a bad 1980s background.
Yeah, yeah.
I told my wife, like, don't that look like a bad 1980s background?
Yeah,
like, yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it looks like something you would see like on a daytime talk show.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is not for Nick. And then Gordon Ramsay's got another cooking show coming out too. And I'm like, do you not have enough shows? I mean, when does Gordon see his wife?
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, do you watch Tournament of Champions?
I didn't.
Guy Fieri. You know, they bring in like the best chefs around or whatever, and they do like a bracket. Anyway, it's pretty good too. A lot of the favorites got beat out this time, and there's one girl that's an 8 seed. She's beat out some big time people.
Yeah.
Moving up, but anyway. Well, I've been watching American Idol.
Yep. I mean, you're American Idol guy.
I'm an American Idol guy. And Clint, I was watching the tryouts and I found myself crying like a big old baby. A big old fat baby. There was one kid, his name is M. Tong. He's a Hawaiian kid.
Okay.
Great old big kid. Okay. He's 18 years old. So he's a kid. And he gets he comes to the tryout and they're, you know, ask him, say, hey, what got you into music? He said, well, my dad. And his dad had just died like 2 months before. Okay. And then he sang the song Monsters by James Blunt. Have you ever heard that song?
No, I haven't, but I'll be listening to it.
Well, I'd never heard it before. It's kind of a slow, you know, it sounds like it'd be like a heavy metal song or something, but it's not. It's actually it's the song paints the picture of like a man saying bye to his dad as his dad is dying. And, you know, I had to experience that myself years ago when my dad passed away after being in the ICU he was in the ICU for a couple months. And, it kind of took me back to that time. Okay. So, I mean, this, you know, I'm watching American Idol, cheesy show, and they're, you know, but dude, that song just wrecked me. And watching this kid sing it after he'd just losing his dad 2 months before that, dude, just like as they're doing it, Lionel Richie and what's his name? Luke Bryan. You know, Luke Bryan has his brother's kid, his brother died and his wife died, and he took in their son, you know, and him and his wife raised them, you know, so it really kind of affected him. So those two are like boohoo, and Katy Perry's just kind of, she has no soul, I guess, but no, usually she's pretty good, but but those two were just dying, man. Anyway, if you get a chance, and the kid can sing, dude, he can sing. His voice is like butter. Like,
but you know what? Way to really bring this to a downer.
Sorry.
But you know, hey, won't you tell everybody, just so we get this the other way, your mom's Christmas present you bought her 1 year?
Oh, William Hung album.
She bang.
Yeah. And another year I bought her the Backstreet Boys. She literally said, I really want the Backstreet Boys album. Like, I don't even know where to go buy that at. I don't know. Does they sell that places?
Will they take my man card as I walk out the door?
Yeah.
At what point do I lose the man card?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm more impressed that you found William Hung. I mean, you could probably go to Walmart and get.
I was sort of proud to go buy that one. Like I went into Hastings like, I need a William Hung album.
Going to like watch Snakes on a Plane or something like that. Yeah. Like you're going to watch the train wreck. You're not, you know, like
this is going to be bad. Yeah.
This is good. It's like buying like, what was it? Kevin Federline CD.
Yeah. Like this is a bad idea all around, and I'm proud of it.
Worse than expectations. They had expectations.
That's right. Well, folks, thank y'all so much. And look, one thing we need to say, we forgot to talk about last week. our state was affected big time by the tornadoes, especially in Little Rock, Jacksonville area, North Little Rock, Wynne, Arkansas. You know, a lot of focus is on Little Rock because there's so many people there, but Wynne was hit hard. In fact, there was 4 deaths in Wynne from it. But there's still a lot of cleanup. Our buddy Trey Day from Power 92 is, if you follow him on social media, he's out doing a lot of work. And
a matter of fact, I was even going to go as far to say this: like, if you want to know how you can help in Little Rock, go to any of Trey Day's socials.
Yeah.
Go to his Twitter. I don't know if he's got an Instagram, Facebook, but he'll be sharing all kinds of information on how you can help. Because man, it was a scary thing. I was actually it's kind of scary. I wasn't far from it. I had gone to Little Rock for my job. I was probably about to where Bass Pro is when I heard it was on Rodney Perils. I was in like 3 or 4 miles of it.
Oh wow!
I heard the siren going off, got off the road. It literally took me 2 hours coming back to drive from about where 630 is to Rodney Peril.
Oh wow!
All the trees were like pulled up from the Breckenridge Village.
Yeah.
You could really see like the building where the loony bin was destroyed.
Yeah.
There was a box truck flipped over. I mean, you know, I could go on and on. It was a surreal sight. And but if you want to help, you know, Red Cross, and there's all kinds of places. But really, if you want to help the people there in Little Rock, go to Trade Day socials, look them up.
Yeah. Go to, and that's just a few places I was going to suggest. Go to Trade Day socials. If you want, go to Red Cross. They're always doing things, and they got their fingers in all kinds of different ways to help there. So that money goes, whether it's healthcare stuff or whether it's food, or they help people with hotels and whatever else they need. But also, if you want something that's smaller to help with, I know the city of Little Rock on their website has a list of some places you can give, and some places you can give online there. I'm going to promote it because I'm connected with it, is the Arkansas Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. They help in 2 ways in situations like this. One of them, they go and cook meals. In fact, they're the ones that do all the meals for the Red Cross. So they're kind of the cooking arm for the Red Cross. They partner with the Red Cross. So pretty much any of the meals the Red Cross gives out are cooked by them. And so, and it's just people that volunteer their time and go out and do that. They also have chainsaw crews that go out and cut up trees, and they bring big equipment in so they can handle the stuff that you normally would have to pay a tree service, sometimes thousands of dollars to do the work to get the tree off your house safely. They can go in and do it, and they'll do it for people for free. Okay. So that's a great one. I know I got a friend that's a pastor at First Baptist Jacksonville. They've opened their church since the get-go for people to come and take showers, people to stay there. They're giving out food and clothing and water and everything there at First Baptist Jacksonville. So you can get on their website, and I'm sure they'll have a way you can donate or help and there. So, and I'm sure that there's lots of others. There's lots of other folks that are, like I said, probably if you went to the Little Rock website, I know I heard Frank Scott on the radio the other day, and he was plugging that, you can go and they'll do that. So, just help in any way you can. If you can't get up there to do it, if you can help financially, there's lots of needs. They were talking on the radio today. They're needing peanut butter. They're needing like canned tuna, canned goods. They're needing can openers. They're needing diapers. They're needing all kinds of stuff. So, when everything's gone, man, I mean, it's everything. It's not, a lot of those people lost everything. And so it's tragic. So prayers are with them for sure. And for those of y'all that are out helping, man, You know, I mentioned to Clint, we were talking Quincy Rhodes. He's a defensive lineman commit to the Hogs. I think he plays at North Little Rock maybe, or Parkview, somewhere like that. But he was out helping, and the dude has a cast on his arm up past his elbow, and he was using two hands swinging an axe, cutting a tree up. I saw the video posted on Facebook, and people were commenting below it like, get that kid a chainsaw so he doesn't mess that arm up. But if he's never used a chainsaw, we don't want to put that in his hands either. But so, and it was just real impressive. He was just out working. He was working his tail off, man. He was sweating and cutting up those trees and stacking them up with some of his other teammates. And so that was good to see them out there working hard. So it makes you proud to have him as a future Hog for us Hog fans. So, all right, Clint.
Made it to another one.
This 107. 107.
Man, I've lost. After 100, I just quit counting.
We're at 107, I think. So that's where we're at. So, folks, like and share. Subscribe. Let people know about this podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, then just take a few seconds and just tweet out about it. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Facebook. Say, hey, do us a favor and just say, hey, y'all, if you like podcasts, try this one out. Just do that one time for us.
Yeah.
Just do it one time. Just do it one time. Come on.
And also, if you're listening, Vince McMahon, please don't sue me.
That's right. Yeah. If you need Clint's address, I got you, homie. Just give me Pat McAfee money. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. No, just joking. But no, seriously, folks, just, man, share it. That's what keeps us doing this. That's what it's going to keep us doing this.
Yeah. If you don't share it, we're going to quit next week. I can't back that one.
No, we're not going to back that up. But if you don't share it, we're going to come to your house and make a sandwich.
Yeah. You eat all your ranch dressing.
You won't. And if you have like Cheez-Its or Goldfish or something like that, like snack crackers, you won't have them anymore.
No.
Because
pork rinds?
Pork rinds, they'll be gone. Unless there's salt vinegar. I can't do vinegar.
No, I'm not eating that. You can have those.
You can have those, keep them. That's it. You're wrong.
Those are your pork rinds.
In fact, we're leaving your house as soon as we see those, because that's just wrong.
It's like I mean, salt and vinegar pork rinds to us are like garlic to Dracula.
That's right, yeah. Unless you got some hot sauce in the fridge and we can cover them with that, and then we're all right. Yeah. Maybe we might can make it then. Maybe. There you go. A little Tapatios on top of them. Clint likes Tapatios.
I do like Tapatios.
It's the one with the guy with the hat.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to go to this Mexican restaurant. It was called El Mexicano. That's a clever name for a Mexican restaurant. And Clint would say he didn't know what the name of the hot sauce was, and he would just have to ask the waitress every time. He said, "I want the hot sauce with the guy with the hat." And she'd bring it out. She knew which one it was. Anyway, every time I see that, I think of you saying that. All right, folks, seriously, share this. We're going to come over and we're going to make that sandwich. Just pre-warning.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying, your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when when I work, my hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no more till I hurt, crying your kingdom come.